Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new, I'm Nyx with Chromates Apothecary, and today I'm bringing you a tarot pick a card reading where we're going to be looking into our July predictions and what it is that's coming into our life during this time, or things that we need to evaluate during the month of July. So starting on the far left side, we have the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot along with this piece of Howlite. This is going to be representing group number 1. In the center with the Rider-Waite Tarot deck and this Yellow Adventurine, this is going to be representing group number 2. And lastly, with the Art Nouveau Tarot deck and this Sunstone, this is going to be representing group number 3. So take a moment to pause the video and meditate on the decks that I have laid out before you. And when you've made your decision, head on down to the description box below and then click on the timestamp that corresponds with the group that you chose. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick-a-card readings in the future. And now, without further ado, I'll see you guys in your readings. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading for July, the predictions of July, or anything that's coming into your life during the month of July. If you chose the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot along with this Howlite, this will be your reading. And in the Howlite, this is really here to help you bring new ideas into focus, and it can also really help with your artistic journey. So needing to create something artistically or needing to have inspiration for art, that's here to really help you along with that journey. So we're gonna get started by giving a shuffle, and then we are going to pull a card for your current energy. So let's see if I can tune into my group number 1s. Can you please give me a card that can kind of give us the overall energy for group number 1 going into the month of July? We have the Five of Wands in the reverse position. This card also really wants to come out, so I'm going to take it as well. So the Seven of Swords in the reverse position. So currently what we're seeing with the Five of Wands reversed is that you may be kind of in this situation where you are kind of either trying to avoid some sort of conflict that's coming up in your life, or if you aren't in conflict or you're not like in the threat of being in conflict, you could also be possibly trying to focus more heavily on your goals. So maybe in the previous month, you really aligned yourself with like, what do I want for my future, and did some planning, soul searching, and really started working on that. And you're taking yourself out of the situation of other people's lives in order to focus on your own. So you're not all wrapped up in other people's drama. You're not wrapped up in all sorts of projects going on that you don't have the major hand in dealing. I think you're kind of getting to the point where you really want to hone in on your own skills and your own future. So again, for that, you are kind of pulling away from other people currently. And we're also seeing with the Seven of Swords that with this, you are maybe being met with some form of mental challenges, and that's why you had to pull away from other people and you have to focus on your goals, is because you are struggling mentally. Or it could be that you're taking this as a chance to break free and break away from other people. Just like how I mentioned in the Five of Wands, is that you're using this as a launching point for yourself. I also want to say, don't see this as like a selfish thing, is like a message I'm getting for some people, is that you may think like, oh, I'm doing this like really focusing on me, and you're kind of not coming at it from a place of like self-love. You're kind of like, you're doing it and you're like, I feel really bad that I'm not there for other people and stuff like that. But really, you need to take care of yourself first before you can take care of other people. So I think you're doing a good job with this. And this is kind of the energy that we've got for you going into July. So in July, what are some things that we can pull for group number 1? Things that are coming into their life or that they need to let go of. What do we have for group number 1? we have a few things. I'm going to pull from these cards, even though there's a bunch here, I'm going to pull one of these cards. So firstly, we have the Four of Cups coming out, and then I really feel this one. So we have the Four of Cups in the reversed position, and then we also have the Sun. Amazing. That's beautiful. So in the Four of Cups reversed, you are definitely getting to maybe feeling like you're kind of you could just be feeling really almost apathetic in the month of July, maybe bored because you've had to pull yourself away from so many things that now you're sitting there being like, I don't really care, kind of thing. You're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now that I don't have all these things distracting me. It could also be that you may be feeling like you possibly missed some sort of opportunity in the month of July. So maybe there's something going on that involved other people. And because you're kind of in this, not antisocial, but like kind of in this more like hermit mindset where you're pulling away and you're trying to really focus on yourself, maybe you're thinking that you could have possibly missed something that could have involved other people in the month of July. But I am seeing overall that the Sun is here for you to shine down on you, and it's really here to bring about a lot of like fun and positivity into your life. It's also a card that is, it's one of the like most favorable, if not the most favorable card in all of tarot. And so this card here is really letting you know that you are going to have just a really good July, and that things around you are going to be uplifted. So I'm just getting that feeling like you may have felt this like sadness or sorrow or just overall feeling like you've been in a bad mood, but there is going to be this swing inside of July that's going to change for the better. So I'm going to pull some clarifying cards as well so we can kind of see a little bit more about your situation. So I'm going to shuffle these. What can we clarify for page number 1 for their month of July? What is it that they're going through? I want it out. Okay, so we have the Magician in the reversed position. And next to that, we have the Five of Cups. I'm gonna pull one more. And Temperance, okay. So in the Magician reversed, it feels like maybe you have not been able to plan things out, like get into an actual routine. And I'm saying that because we had this pulling away and this breaking free moment, but then it gets met with this boredom, as if you haven't taken all of that time that used to be filled up with other things, and you haven't been able to make really good progress with putting all your new time that you found into good use. So now you're kind of settling there, like twiddling your thumbs, like, what do I do? Do I just like binge Netflix? Like, what the heck? So I think that you need to find something that really brings this warmth out of you and really makes you just feel super positive. I don't want you surrounding yourself with negativity. So if you have negative people in your life or negative hobbies, I'm getting this feeling like the hobby in itself isn't negative. It's something like the people within that hobby or within that sort of like just general fandom or something is really pulling you down and making you feel bad. And I think you need to pivot and kind of get out of it in order to like flourish. Because with the Magician reversed, it could be some like lack of planning has happened, and it can also deal with you having this untapped potential that you haven't been able to find for yourself and really release. And I think that in July, you're going to be able to release that untapped potential. You're going to find the thing that is really calling for you, but you have to kind of put in a little bit of work. And with this, we have the Five of Cups, which is about some sort of loss or some sort of disappointment. So I'm seeing this as you may be thinking that if you pulled away from people and everything, that suddenly everything would suddenly get better, but it hasn't. And you're like, well, why? Like, why hasn't everything just magically been amazing? Or maybe you had to forcefully pull yourself from someone that maybe you didn't even want to. Like, maybe there was a friend that's been really like toxic or whatever, and they've just really been bringing you down and other people down, and you've had to consciously make the effort to either avoid them, like conflict avoidance, or you've had to cut them out of your life completely, and that's got you really stressed out because you're like, well, I thought everything would be better, but now you're left with all these bad feelings of like, well, am I a bad friend now because I like stopped, like I put up boundaries to have to talk, no longer speak with this person, kind of thing. Or for some people, I'm also getting it could be like a loss where you didn't have the choice, so they left your life in some way, and you could be like grieving that loss in a sense. But Temperance has come out to let you know that you are going to find some sense of balance in your life. And Temperance is also a really big card dealing with your like meaning in life and your purpose in life. So you're going to be able to find your purpose throughout the month of July, and you're going to be able to focus on that more, and that's what's going to bring you your like warmth and positivity and everything. And also with Temperance, another thing I'd like to bring up is that they are about patience too, being able to master your patience, because it's that sort of like all good things come to those who wait sort of situation where you can't expect results to instantly happen and instantly change your life for the best. That's the vibes that I'm getting. And then I'm going to pull for advice. So advice for group number 1 going into the month of July. What do they need to hear? What's something the group number 1 needs to hear? You need to hear the Six of Cups. What does group number 1 need to hear? Yeah, I agree. Two of Pentacles reversed. And lastly, one more, please. Eight of Cups reversed. Okay. So starting out, we have the Six of Cups in the upright position. And with that card, that is talking about really tapping into your like younger self. Kind of coming back to how you felt when you were a child, and that sort of like that fun and innocence that you had when you were younger. It can also bring about feelings of like nostalgia and just like good memories in general. But one of the things that I'm seeing and thinking of is that your purpose has been linked to you since you were a child. So something that you have untapped potential in that's gonna bring you this warmth and joy. For some of you, I think it's something that you used to do when you were a kid that you were really passionate about, and then as you got older, it kind of fell by the waysides because you're like, oh, well, now I'm an adult, now I have to focus on all these other things, and I have to get a job and XYZ and stuff like that. So I think there's something that if you've been feeling this calling of going back to an old hobby and just like retracing your steps and getting back into that, I think you should do it, because I'm really thinking for some of you, it's trying to pull you back, and some of you are like, oh, well, nobody that I know is into that hobby, or I mean, is it really viable for me to be able to make money from it or things like that? But I see you tapping back into that, or at least the advice that we're seeing is that you should tap back into your old self and try to look at things in a more playful and childlike wonder. So look at things as if they're brand new to you instead of feeling jaded or feeling just like a grumpy old adult kind of thing. Like, try to come at things with that childlike wonder. We're also seeing in the Two of Pentacles reversed that there is some sort of disorganization going on in your life. So it does feel like you haven't been able to get yourself on track because I think there isn't like a routine in place. I think you should sit down and really work out a routine for yourself and try to do it throughout the entire month of July and see how you feel by the end of the month. And this can be really hard to do because of course life happens, things come up, but if you try to be not even strict on yourself, but if you try to at least be like, okay, each day I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and you try to accomplish those goals, you will feel so much better than waking up and being like, I have no focus. I have nothing that I'm trying to set a goal toward or nothing that I'm trying to fulfill. So I think really sitting down and being true to yourself and being like, what do I want my day-to-day life to look like where I am currently? Try to fill that up and follow that throughout the month. We're also seeing the Eight of Cups in reverse, and with this card here, this is about a sense of like hopelessness and usually walking away from a situation. And it can also be that you don't have a focused goal. So like you're just sort of drifting from one thing to the next kind of thing. So for advice, what we want to do is we want to flip this card around, and instead we want to focus on the opposite of that, which is going to be that we are taking things into our hands and really working on them ourselves and no longer have that aimless drifting. We want to make sure we have a plan set in place because we do have the sun coming out, and the sun is so bright and so powerful that I do see that you're going to be able to pull from that positivity. So whatever hopelessness that you may be feeling, we want to try to aim towards the sun and see if we can be guided by that light there. So I'm going to pull a few more cards. Any last messages to guide group number 1? The first one that came out is Aquarius. So you could either be an Aquarius or have Aquarius in your sun, moon, or rising, or someone important to you during the month of July could be an Aquarius. But with Aquarius, it says visionary, inventive, and eccentric on there. Aquarius are not afraid to live as themselves, like live as their fullest truth. So really try to live your life just fully you. Try not to hide yourself, because that's gonna be a lot harder. Oops. It's gonna be a lot harder to try to sit there and keep up a mask constantly. If you live as your truest self, like an Aquarius would, then you are going to be able to see changes in your life. Next we have solar plexus, which says ambitious and self-confidence. So he's calling upon you to gain a bit more self-confidence, for you to be a bit more ambitious with your life goals and your purpose. Because we are seeing a lot of kind of being floaty, kind of avoiding situations, being apathetic, walking away. So we want to make sure that you're a bit more proactive with your life and you're trying to take it into your hands. Lastly, we have this one that says Ghost Pipe, which says immerse in your shadow's wisdom. So you know yourself the best and you know your strengths and weaknesses. So when you know your flaws and you know everything that's in your shadow self, then you're able to not necessarily avoid it, but you know how to work with it. You know how to cope with those weaknesses. So really focus on what it is that you can do with the limitations that you have in place. Because we can't beat our flaws. We can work at them. We can try to make them less detrimental to us and others around us. And we can definitely do our best to overcome them, but we're never going to fully defeat them. We have to accept that that's something that we have in our life, and we have to just move beyond that. So let's pull some self-care cards for group number 1. Some self-care that group 1 can implement during the month of July for them to feel better, for them to have that sun moment. First we have make an altar. So if you are someone who likes to make altars, or if you've never done it before in your life, this would be a good time to do so. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy. It's great to have representations of the things that you want in your life or things that you want to honor on your altar. And maybe take a moment to meditate on it as well. So if you're setting intentions on how you don't have a routine and stuff, maybe if you do sort of a ritual where you sit down and you write all the things that you want in your life and you place that sheet of paper on your altar and you meditate on those, maybe just once a week even, maybe it can help you refocus your goals onto yourself. Also, if you have an altar, it might be a good time to clean it or rearrange it too. Making a new altar so we don't have that stuck energy just stagnant sitting there. Next we have clear your energy field. Yeah, so you are probably feeling like there's just a lot of stuck energy and you're feeling kind of like you haven't done this in a while, where you haven't been able to release this like negative energy or just like stuck energy that's been clung to you for some time. So this might be a good time to clear your energy field in whatever way is your favorite. Let's go into one more. Take a walk. Take a walk. So heading into nature, going for a walk, and being able to really get in touch with the nature around you. Maybe feeling appreciation for the nature and the beauty that's around you. This can also really help clear your energy field too. And in this here, obviously taking a walk does not need to be a solo thing, but I am getting like solo vibes from all of these, where it's kind of like you focusing on yourself during this span of time. So I think that that might be good for you to clear your head and really be able to focus on you. So I'm gonna pull one of these. Any last messages for group 1? Lastly, we have, you live in a waking dream all day and all night, so play the role you desire and create the world you want. This is great for you. It works so well with this reading here, is you have the ability to do whatever it is that you want, and you are the creator. So you need to really become that creator for yourself. You can't let other people dictate your life, and you can't assume that they're going to just come in and fix everything for you. So you're the one who has to make those decisions, and you're going to be able to do that for yourself. So that's a really beautiful ending message. We're going to roll the Astro Dice a couple times as well, just for the last messages. So the first one we have coming through is Virgo, and our lovely Virgos are very, very good at following routines, very good at making plans and sticking to them. So if you are a Virgo sun, moon, or rising, someone in your life is, or this could be a trait that you need to pick up on, is look into the traits of Virgo and they will help guide you toward getting your life on track. Next, we have Aquarius coming out again. So you could be an Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising. Someone important could be, or it could be that you need to live as your authentic self. You really need to be able to come out of your own shell and really be the sun for yourself. And lastly, we have Cancer coming through. So we're currently in Cancer season right now, but again, it could be your sun, moon, or rising, someone important to you, or Cancers are very, very good at being in touch with their emotions and allowing their emotions to guide them to make the correct decisions. So it could be that you need to rely on your emotions a bit more. And if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick a card readings in the future. And since you've gotten this far, if you'd like to, go ahead and leave a sun emoji in the comment box below to let myself and others know that you did reach this part in your reading. I'm really rooting for you, group number 1, and I hope your July goes amazingly. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Hello, group number 2, and let's get started with your reading all about your July predictions and what it is that's going to be coming towards you in this month. So if you chose the Rider-Waite Tarot deck along with this Yellow Adventurine, then this will be your reading. And in the Yellow Adventurine, this is really here to help you with really alleviating grief and being able to focus and center your emotions. It can also really help with really working through all sorts of physical ailments as well. So this is a very healing stone. So if you are in the need of some sort of manifesting health, wellness, anything like that, Yellow Adventurine is definitely here to help you along that journey. So we're gonna set that off on this side and we'll get started by giving this deck a shuffle. And the first thing I want to do is I want to look into your current energy. So can we get the current energy for group number 2? What is it that group number 2 is currently focused on, or what's been going on in their life? So for group number 2, we have the Queen of Wands coming out in the reverse position. And we're also seeing the 8 of Pentacles upright. So what I'm kind of seeing from this is that I think you have been a bit frustrated. I think you've been trying and maybe not failing, but you've been trying to make progress on something and you're having a really hard time in being able to master this certain thing. You've been having a hard time in reaching a certain goal that you set out for yourself. And because of this, it's kind of making you act out more than you would like. You're kind of feeling like you have to be the one to make all the decisions, and you're coming about it in kind of like an aggressive sort of way. But I think it's because you're being overly harsh on yourself and you're not giving yourself the chance to pause and really see all the mastery that has been taking place. How you're not going to get the thing that you want overnight, and because of that, it's really causing you to feel super stressed out. The other thing that could be a message for some people, the other part of it could be that you are feeling really overwhelmed because you are doing some sort of thing that's having to do with schooling. And I know that like kids just got out of school and everything, but like I'm seeing this as kind of like you're taking some sort of class or you're doing something of a repetitive nature and you're not seeing as much progress as you want, and that is making you feel really overwhelmed and frustrated with yourself as well. So in the 8 of Pentacles here, this is really generally about putting in the work and doing something over and over and over again to ensure this strong quality. But I think you're not seeing that. Like there's something going on where like you don't have your eyes trained on that, so like you can only see like what's right in front of your nose, and because you're not seeing all this progress, it's just like building up inside of you and making your emotions feel kind of out of control from what you normally feel. Because like I'm kind of getting it from how this figure is looking down at the work that they're currently doing, but they're not seeing all of these that they've done, and even to the point where one's like laying on the floor kind of thing. So I'm getting this feeling that for some of you, you're almost blind to it. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense that like you've been putting in this work, but you're not letting yourself celebrate it, kind of. And like it's one of those things where practice makes perfect, but like you don't want to make you don't want to do the practice part. You want it to just be perfect, and you have to not be as harsh on yourself. So I'm kind of getting this feeling that you have been a little frustrated, a little stressed out about something. So I wonder what that applies to. We can ask for clarification later, but I'm kind of thinking that some of you are really working on something special, like a project that you've been working on, or something to do with like work, where you are really trying to put in the steps towards something like a promotion or just a project at work, and like you're not seeing any headway into it. And so that's what has you so frustrated with yourself. And maybe you're also naturally someone who takes things in on yourself, and maybe you talk down to yourself. So it could be a bit of that too. So this is the energy that I'm currently seeing you in. So I want to see what July can bring for you. So what is going to go on in July for group number 2? What is it that's happening in July? We have Death in the reversed position. Now all these cards. And what else can we pull for group 2 in the month of July? What other big things are happening? 4 of Cups. Okay. So in here, the cards are they're kind of being a little sassy. It looks like there's this stuck feeling that we're getting with the Death in the reverse position, where it seems like you don't want to move on from something, or you're resisting this change that you need to be going through. So I'm feeling this kind of like stubborn energy that's happening, where you are needing to change the way that you're going about something. You need to like pivot and do something else, but you're having a really hard time with wanting to go through this change. And because you're kind of like digging in your heels a bit, it's making it really hard for the universe to work alongside you with this. And we're seeing that in the 4 of Cups here, is that this is about a sort of like a reevaluation of your life, because you can see how the figure is like being offered this opportunity, they're being offered this cup, but they've just like got their arms crossed kind of thing. They're really apathetic, almost as if they're like, well, if I take this cup, it's just gonna be like these cups that I already have, so what's the point in having another cup? But it could be that that's filled with their favorite to drink and they don't know it, kind of thing. Or it's the universe trying to give you an opportunity, and it could be a beautiful opportunity for you, but you're just sitting there being like, I really don't want to deal with this kind of thing. So I think that what I'm seeing though for you is that there is this resistance, but I'm seeing this more as the reevaluation sense, in like you needing to contemplate and really get yourself together and figure out what it is that you want out of life. Because I think you're going to realize that this stuff that's tied together is not the end all be all. It's not going to always be like that, but you have to see why and how to make it work in the moment. But I think you're kind of like, I think you know what needs to happen, but you are really, really avoiding what needs to happen, because the Death in the upright position is all about endings and beginnings, and that sort of like transformation and change. So I think that inherently you know what it is that needs to happen. But again, you're kind of resisting it a little bit. So let's pull some clarification cards. I want to see what is going on. You've got some drama in your life. Group number 2. There's something going on with you guys. You nosy. I'm not going to take both of these. Actually, I'm going to slip them back in. Not feeling those. For group number 2, what are some clarifications that we can get? What's going on? Okay. We have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse coming out and the 10 of Cups that flew out at me. I don't know if you saw it, but the card like launched onto my chest. So we're gonna set these over here. And I want one more. I'm really seeing though that I think like you are, because we have the 8 of Pentacles twice, is that you're like really stuck on wanting to make something perfect. And it's just not there, and it's got you stressed. One more for group number 2. The Devil. Okay. So that's some clarity, all right. Okay, so with the 8 of Pentacles reversed, this is about being a perfectionist, or it's about losing your like focus when it comes to that like repeated action kind of thing. You're like not having any ambition. You're being really apathetic. You're not caring about this thing that's going on. And then in the 10 of Cups reversed, this is usually some sort of misalignment of values that's going on. So if there is a partnership that this is a part of, it could be that maybe you're feeling like whatever journey that you guys are going on. So if this is literally a partnership thing that's happening, that you're trying and trying and trying to make something work, and it just feels like it's not working for you, the Death card could be coming out to be like, maybe you guys aren't meant for each other, and you're still resisting it because you're like, oh, but I have to make it work because like we've been together for so long, or whatever kind of thing. And then you're sitting here within July just either being apathetic, or you're sitting there realizing that you do need to reevaluate the situation that you're in. It could also be that if this is a partnership where you two aren't on the same page, it could be really stressing you out, because if you guys aren't seeing the same things that you guys need and the same future, then it could really be hurting you and making you like lash out kind of thing. But if this is not a relationship because either you don't want to be in one, or there's just not a person in your life right now, it could be you being misaligned with your like highest self. So with what you truly are and want to be for your future, you are not currently aligned with that part of yourself, and that's what's making it so hard for you to be able to really get things on track. Like I feel like, again, that stuck energy. I'm also feeling like I have been like holding my shoulders like pinched up and together this like entire reading basically. So I think we need to breathe and just really try to let go of the things that are around you that are stressing you out. There should be no stress going on in your life, but we're seeing this constant like wearing you down kind of energy. But we're also seeing the Devil, and in the Devil, he can be representative of some sort of like addiction to something, some sort of clinging to materialism or escapism, but it's generally feeling like you are stuck to something or someone and you can't get out of it. Like you feel like, I can't leave this cycle again, like addiction. So I think that you are feeling that pressure, that stuck energy, and it's really keeping you trapped and not being able to be who you are. So I think that what we're seeing for July is that you are trying to soldier through this. You're trying to make something work, and you're getting to this point at the end of July where you're just kind of like, I don't know, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know, like, how to keep going on in the same way that I've always been doing. So this is here to kind of give you a little bit of a warning, is what I'm gonna say. It's trying to guide you in the right direction, and it can be pretty scary because this is fairly heavy to hear, and to have to really look at yourself critically on your choices and what it is that you want and what you can do in your life. So we're gonna pull some advice cards for you guys because I feel like you need it a little bit. So let's get some advice for group number 2 on the situation that they're in. What can they do? What can they rely on during this time? First card that flew out here is the 2 of Wands. So I was thinking. We have the 4 of Swords in the reverse position. And let's get one more for you. Then we have the 9 of Cups. Okay. This is all fairly positive advice at the very least. So hopefully this can help with your decision making. But what we have in the 2 of Wands is that this card is all about needing to make decisions and also like future planning. So I really feel like you have to sit down with yourself and really focus on you and what you want. You kind of have a little bit of the same theme as group number 1. So if you were interested in group 1 when you were looking at the cards and you were torn between 1 or 2, I'd say maybe watch group number 1 after you finish this one, because I kind of getting the feeling like some of you could find messages in there that can resonate with you. But otherwise, this here is really about you being able to make progress and needing to discover more as well. So the advice for you guys is going to be to make some sort of like action plan towards your future self, is what I'm seeing. And then we have the 4 of Swords in reverse, which is about having burnout, dealing with burnout, a lack of progress, which is the exact opposite of the 2 of Wands. And then also dealing with this sense of restlessness, like you can't slow down kind of thing. So for advice, we're taking this as you need to avoid burnout. You need to avoid that lack of progress. You have to keep working as diligently as you can. And that can be very hard because you're sitting here kind of resisting and not noticing how much work you've put into something already. But the 8 of Pentacles coming up twice is really letting me know that you putting in this like constant repeated effort is gonna be what it is that needs to be done in order to dig yourself out of whatever situation that you're in. And lastly, we're seeing the 9 of Cups, and the 9 of Cups is a beautiful card. It is here to share that there is going to be comfort and happiness, and at the end of it all, you are going to be overly like satisfied with your end result. So I think this card here for advice is coming out to let you know just to try to lean more into the positive side of things. You can see and hear this card, this like figure is very like jovial and very pleased. So trying to keep as lighthearted and happy as you can during this. I know it's hard to find positivity when you're feeling like everything is against you, especially if you're struggling with something like addiction or struggling with something that's keeping you in the same places that you've always been in and you want big changes to happen for you. I know it can be hard. So let's look for some further information. Any last bit of guidance for group number 2? Any last messages that they need to hear during this time? We have Cancer. So we are currently in Cancer season, but you could also be a Cancer sun, moon, or rising. And this is saying on here, nurturing, loyal, and sensitive. So it's also coming up underneath the card that is dealing with that almost overly sensitive like feelings kind of thing in the Queen of Wands reverse. So just be patient with yourself and really try to tune into your emotions. Cancer tends to be very in touch with their emotions. And nurture yourself more too. Be a lot softer on yourself, guys. Cancer is also like kind of like the mom friend. So like they basically will just take care of everyone around them. And I think you need to be that for yourself, truly. We also have full moon coming out. So this card here says, I celebrate being whole. So if you have lately been having such a hard time in being able to celebrate you as yourself throughout all of this, maybe take the time to do something nice for yourself. Give yourself something nice, because you've been working so hard, but you're just not seeing that end outcome. So it's making you so like stressed out and like, oh, I don't deserve nice things, but you do. The last message we have is Aries. So you could be an Aries sun, moon, or rising, or someone around you could be that's either helping or hindering through this. And with Aries as well, it's showing adventurous, confident, and driven. So these are amazing traits to have, because Aries, they basically like, they put the goal down for themselves and then they just like shoot straight for it kind of thing. They just go, go, go kind of thing. So, and they're also very, very confident. So try to tap into Aries and don't live your life in this apathetic state. Try to be the person who's in control of your life and be like, all right, I'm gonna get this done kind of thing. I'm also getting this feeling that for some of you, that you may have like an Aries friend. I didn't get this feeling from Cancer, but I did from Aries, is that you might have an Aries friend who has advice for you, and maybe you should seek it out a little bit. Ask them what they would do in your situation and kind of see what they say and see if you can apply it. So we've got some self-care cards that we're going to pull for group number 2 as well. What are some self-care things that group 2 can do during the month of July to make this month a little easier? Because it seems a little stressful right now. Firstly, we have flow like water coming out, and it's funny that it landed right on Cancer. I want to pull the next one though. This is not normally how I do this, but I really want to pull both of these. So this first one is flow like water. So if you're able to, maybe go to like a beach, or perhaps if you're somebody who really likes taking baths, try to give yourself that sort of moment of relaxation. But for most of you, what I'm seeing, because the Queen of Wands in reverse was dealing with that aggressive, demanding kind of emotions, and then Cancer is very sensitive and in touch with their emotions. I'm seeing the flow like water is dealing with your emotions and flowing with them in a gentle way kind of thing. So don't like be mad at yourself when you are noticing your emotions flow and change in a way that you don't want. Don't try to resist it, but also don't get swept away in it either. Just try to be in the moment with your emotions and listen to them and listen to yourself, instead of bottling them up and or projecting it out at other people or at yourself. Just try to be at ease during those times. And next we have read. So reading can help us escape to other worlds. So if that's something that you enjoy doing, feel free to pull out your favorite book, give yourself some self-care by reading your favorite novel, because sometimes we just need to get lost in a world that can take us away from our problems, and maybe that'll help clear your mind a little bit. And also with read, it can be a time where maybe you need to do a bit of research too. So if there's something that's relevant to your situation, to where you could read advice books, self-help books, anything like that that might help you navigate the situation, or if it's something like an addiction, try to pick up some books that have to do with your situation, whatever it is, and try to read a bit more this month as well. We're gonna pull one more. And lastly, look for fairies. So in here, I always like to take the look for fairies card as look for certain symbolism that is taking part in your life. Maybe on your way to work, or if you've been going on walks because of the nicer weather, maybe you're seeing the same sort of like wildlife out in the world, or certain flowers, or perhaps when you're cooking dinner, or just throughout the day, you keep seeing the same numbers on your little like oven clock, things like that. Try to make note of those things and maybe read up on what they mean, because I think they can help guide you toward either peace or a chance to relax and realign yourself into your being instead of feeling scattered. Again, the Yellow Adventuring is here to help you heal, not only physically, but also like mentally and emotionally too. So definitely use the power from that Yellow Adventuring to really tap into some healing energy, because I'm feeling like you guys have a need for it. And then lastly, we are going to pull a message from this guy here. What can we get for group number 2? I guess you get 2. Group 2 gets 2. So the first one we have is you are a soul living in a flesh temple made of stardust, riding a rock through space. Don't sweat the small stuff. You are pure magic and mystery. And I'm really feeling like this one in particular is kind of calling out that like need to be a perfectionist, or letting small things annoy you. Don't sweat the small stuff. Really try to take the time during July to just realize how lucky you are in the space that you're in, and how you can use the potential in your situation to grow beyond it. And next we have, wow, this is awesome. It says, the only illusion of death is that it is an ending. Live as if your choices will always matter. And we did get the death card that we're trying to resist. It is just a chance to transition to a new phase in your life. And your choices do always matter. So I think that that's really, really powerful for you to hear, is that you need to know that whatever you choose, that is going to change the fate of your life, and that you have the power to lead a life that you've always wanted to lead. It's not something that society dictates towards you. It's not something that your parents have a hold over you on, or anybody else in your life. This is like for you to decide and for you to move your life into the direction that you want. So really take that time to reevaluate. Really take that time to try to work along with death. Instead of that stubbornness, try to ease into some sort of change, because I feel like that needs to happen for you. And lastly, we're going to roll this Astro Dice a few times for any last messages. So firstly, we have Leo coming out. It will be Leo season soon, or you could be a Leo sun, moon, or rising, or someone in your life could be someone important. But with Leos also, they are not afraid to be the boss. Like, they're not afraid to take charge, have confidence and courage to be able to run their life. So this is something that I think you could really tap into, is that power of Leo. We also have Taurus. And with Taurus here, Taurus, either sun, moon, or rising, or someone important in your life, or the traits of Taurus is that they can be very stubborn. And we're seeing this sort of stubbornness going on. But they're stubborn because they're like, I know how I want things to go, and this is how it's going to be, and they just keep plodding along that path because they know it'll eventually lead them to some form of success. And also combined with the Eight of Pentacles, it's that same sort of feeling, that same, like, that repetition needs to happen in order for quality to get better and better and there to be that perfection. And lastly, we have Virgo. So Virgo coming out. Virgo, either sun, moon, or rising, or someone important in your life, or a trait to pull from Virgo is that they're very, very good at planning and making a routine and sticking to it. So I think those are all like traits that you can kind of pull from in order to really set yourself on the right path. All right, if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick card readings in the future. And also, if you like, feel free to leave a full moon emoji in the comment box below to let myself and others know that you did reach this far in your reading. I hope you guys have an amazing July and that you're able to navigate it smoothly. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your July predictions. So if you chose this Art Nouveau tarot deck along with the Sunstone, then this is going to be your reading. And in the Sunstone, this can really be here to help you find joy in your life, and it can really help lift dark moods and also be beneficial in encouraging your optimism and enthusiasm. So we're going to place that crystal over there for the remainder of your reading. Let's get right into it. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to tap into your current energy. So this is going to be current energy that group number 3 is going to be going into July with. So kind of see where you're at. What's going on with group number 3? Firstly, we have the 7 of Wands along with the 8 of Swords. Okay. So we're seeing here that there has been a lot of hardships been going on in your life. There's been a lot of struggles happening, and also sort of getting to this point where you feel like you're kind of trapped, like you can't like you're not in control and you can't change the circumstances that you're in. That's what I'm currently getting, that feeling. So with the 7 of Wands, this deals with those challenges. It deals with either you needing to keep putting in the work to persevere and see things through, or it could be dealing with some sort of competition that's going on around you. But I'm really seeing it linked with the 8 of Swords in that you have been coming up against these repeat challenges that are really getting in your way of making a lot of progress in your life. And in the 8 of Swords, it's kind of indicating that you feel as if you can't get yourself out of it. So you feel like you're putting on this self-imposed restriction on yourself, or you're isolating yourself from other people or from other situations as well. But I'm getting this feeling, because it is a sword that deals with our mental state, that it could be that you are thinking this way, but it's not your reality. and you're having a hard time being able to see what it is that you can have for yourself. So now let's go into what is going to be coming into July for you. So what do we have in July for group number 3? What will be happening in July? We have the Devil. And we also have the Ace of Wands. Interesting. So what I am seeing here is that I believe that there is going to be either you releasing yourself from the Devil, is kind of what I'm getting, with it appearing after I said all this self-imposed restrictions and whatnot and the challenges you've had to face. I'm seeing it almost as if you feel bound and like you can't release yourself from it. And in the Devil, that's almost exactly what's happening in the traditional art of the Devil. It is that he has the lovers chained up, but they could just lift the chains off from around their necks, and they could just leave at any point. But they feel mentally as if they are bound to him, that they have to serve him in some way. But in the Devil, it's sort of also about illusions. So this is another trick that's being played on you. For some people, however, I am seeing this card as some sort of devil is going to be rearing its head in July, and you need to look out for that. So it could be that you're coming across a certain situation that seems like it's too good to be true, or you could be falling into an addiction of some sort, something that maybe you have fallen into before. It's going to come back into your life and you need to resist that. Or it could come as an actual person who is gonna be kind of like, they're gonna have a silver tongue, and they're gonna be very like attractive to you, but maybe they aren't meant for you, and they're trying to do things like love bomb you. They're trying to give you everything that you want to hear, because I'm seeing this as like you feel like you can't pull yourself out of this situation because it's self-imposed. You feel like you're bound to something, and you feel as if like you're really, really just like isolated. And then suddenly somebody comes through who's super charming and they want to give you the world and everything, and you're like, oh yes, whisk me away. I'm kind of seeing this as a be very careful of this devil character. So if someone approaches you and they're trying to sell you something that you know you shouldn't buy, really listen to your gut when it comes to that. That is definitely a clear message for some of you. So just be careful with who you're dealing with in the month of July. We also have here the Ace of Wands, and in the Ace of Wands, this is about having a like beginning of some sort. It's potential that is going to be drawn out when you put in the time and the effort to see that potential through. And it's also about having this sense of power, this inner power, and this ability to create and be inspired by things around you. So this is extremely favorable, because I'm reading this as almost like the overall theme of your month in July. So this is you literally taking control over your mindset and taking control of your situation and really weaving it into what it is that you want. But I am seeing that you just need to watch out for whatever this devil situation is. A friend, a lover potentially, or a situation that may distract you from the Ace of Wands, that you need to be careful that they're not leading you astray from this new beginning that you could be having. So let's pull some clarification cards. pull some cards for group number 3 to clarify this situation that they're in. I'm also, card just flowing out. I'm also interested in finding out more about this devil. So firstly, we have the Knight of Wands coming out. What else do we have? Seven of Cups reversed. The Emperor. Okay. So I'm definitely seeing like a male, because we have the Knight of Wands and we also have the Emperor. This is kind of giving me an overall feeling of this whole situation. How I was talking before about how it's almost gonna feel like someone's trying to whisk you away from your situation. I'm seeing this as kind of clarification for that, slash like a warning for that, because in the Knight of Wands, he is extremely like energetic. He's very passionate. He has a lot of like lust for adventure and just lust in general, and can be very impulsive. So think of someone who is potentially like love bombing you, trying to put in all of this like really intense positive emotion, and it just seems out of nowhere, and you can get so easily swept up on like, oh wow, like this feels so amazing. But I'm definitely seeing this as more of a warning, because we can see also that we have the Seven of Cups in the reverse position, and when this card is upright, this is dealing with sort of like all your dreams like coming true and like having all these different choices and stuff. But with it being reversed, it's definitely dealing with some sort of temptation and some sort of illusion that's happening. You're not able to see the clear picture. It can also be that something's trying to distract you. So there's something or someone that is trying to distract you from what you truly want and need. And the reason why I'm so clung up on it being a person is because we have so many people like cards in here, and we have a more masculine form in these cards as well. Especially with the Emperor coming out. The Emperor is here to normally bring about extreme like solid foundation and structure, and is generally seen as a father figure. So if this isn't a romantic thing, this could be something like a father or grandfather, or it could be someone who has that father figure-esque role in your life, and they're using that to their advantage, and not for your benefit, but for their benefit. So be very careful when it comes to dealing with people in your life. This also, just for everybody's clarity, this does not need to be someone who is like traditionally masculine. It could be someone who is feminine or non-binary, but they have masculine traits. So it's not black and white, it's not cut and dry kind of thing. It is very much situational, and you need to just see these traits within anyone you're dealing with. But I am feeling this masculine kind of energy that's coming through. I just wanted to clarify that for everybody. It's interesting. I definitely do see that. I don't want to say that you're naive, but I think you like to kind of go with the flow of other people's wishes, just because it's almost easier for you. Like, you don't have to make the decisions for yourself. And you're like, kind of, I'm getting that feeling of like, oh, I wish my knight in shining armor could just ride in here and take me away. And it's like, yes, but no. Like, this situation, a person is not for you. And you have to avoid getting sucked into the charming ways. We're also going to pull some advice cards for you. So what advice can we give to group number 3 other than being taken by the devil? What advice do we have for group number 3? We have the 3 of Pentacles that just jumped out. the Hierophant in the reverse position. And we have Three of Wands. Okay. So with the Three of Pentacles, this is about teamwork. It's about learning. It's about working together in order to get things done, some form of collaboration. So finding people who want the same as you when it comes to the Ace of Wands, wanting to start on a new journey, wanting to feel inspired and like you're in control. You want to find people who have those same feelings. You don't want somebody who says that they have everything and then they lead you down this negative path. We're also seeing in the Hierophant reversed that this is you having like the need to challenge the status quo, something unconventional. So you're not following a very typical life path. You're not following like a typical 9 to 5. This is a situation where you want to creatively go off on your own and do something new and fresh. And we also have in the Three of Wands that this is about some sort of expansion. It's about being able to look into the future and really have that foresight to plan out things and be able to keep a watch for things that could stop you. So the advice that I'm seeing is not to be afraid of doing something different. So do something different. Surround yourself with people who also want to do things differently and people who are in control of themselves and their own power, and maybe even find it as like a support system. And then also with the Three of Wands, the advice there is to make sure you prepare and you're able to see everything for what it is and not get trapped into any form of illusion. That's what I'm getting for you guys. So let's see if there's any last messages that we can pull for group number 3. Firstly, we have third quarter, which says, I connect with nature at my own pace. So don't feel rushed. This is about like with your own pace as well, is don't let other people dictate you or your life or what you need when. Don't get talked into, oh, but if you join me, my cause, the situation, I'm gonna give you everything right now kind of thing, if you're not ready for that. You have to be the one that determines that, and you have to be the one that makes that for yourself. Next we have Waxing Crescent, which says, I manifest my dreams. So this is here to let you know that whatever you are trying to accomplish and whatever you want out of your life, you can manifest that into your life. You're not going to fail when you try to manifest things into your life. It might be a good time as well to try to cleanse yourself before bed so you can have dreams versus nightmares as well. For some of you, I think that you may be having some issues with sleep. So trying to do what you can to ease yourself and ease your mind before bed would be very helpful. Then the last message for group number 3. Ooh, you get 2 because one just flew on the floor and I really want to get it for you. So this one here says, first quarter, I open doorways to possibility. You open the door. No one else does. This is you who's making this decision and who is going to step through that door. We also have a Weeping Willow that flew out, which says, find a sanctuary within turbulence. Yeah, so you are going through this turbulent thought process. that's making it hard for you to feel like you're the one that's in control. And you need to find some sort of solace within it, because you're not going to be able to take yourself out of it completely. So you have to be able to learn to live inside of it without stress, or with as little stress as possible, trying to find peace during your during the rough patches in your life. And then lastly, we're going to pull a message from here for you. What other messages for group 3? Not all those. This one. If you had any connection to, this is gonna sound wild, but if you were drawn toward all of the decks in this video, maybe after this, watch 1 and 2, because 2 had similarities harkening back to 1. And then you guys have similarities harkening back to 2, which harkens back to 1. So it's kind of like, this is for everyone. But I think that there could be messages from there that you guys need to hear. I think collectively, we're all kind of going through some struggles that we really need to tap into ourselves. And the reason why I say that is because the card that I pulled is the only illusion of death is that it is an ending. Live as if your choices will always matter. So if there is some sort of change that needs to happen in your life, know that it is just a transitional thing, and that some chapters have to close before the next ones can open for you. You have to make that choice to step into the Ace of Wands and step into this new beginning, this like creation period, this potential for yourself. And it's your choice. So between this and how we have I Open Doorways to Possibility in first quarter, this is about your choices and your movement into change. We're also going to roll the Astro Dice. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising, or someone important to you, or someone who might be trying to sell you a little something could be coming out in this. Firstly, we have Taurus. So again, it could be your sun, moon, or rising, or someone around you. With Taurus, they're very stubborn and steadfast. So they can know how something needs to go, and they can just head down that path. No matter how much they have to persevere, they will reach their end goal because they know what lies beyond for themselves. So that could be a trait that you might need to pick up on a little. We also have Capricorn coming out. Okay, so for Capricorn, it could be your sun, moon, or rising, or someone around you. And Capricorn is also so ambitious. Capricorn is one of the people that like they can see when they have the power and the ability to put in the work in a new beginning and see the full potential and see it through. They don't just stop because they love that workflow. The other thing too is that the devil is connected with Capricorn. I don't want to demonize my Capricorns. I'm married to a Capricorn, so they're not all bad, everybody, but it is something to be aware of with it coming through. Just be very careful of people who, especially seeing as Capricorns, is someone who seems like they have absolutely everything together. So they might not even be a Capricorn, but Capricorns, every time I've met one, they always seem to have everything together. So just be careful of somebody who feels like that. And lastly, we have Sagittarius coming out. So again, it could be your sun, moon, or rising, or someone around you. And Sagittarius is very independent, kind of a free thinker, and they're not afraid to go it alone. They're not afraid to be confident in themselves and jump into a new journey. So that can be a trait that you might need to pull from in order to feel more whole, in order to navigate this situation that you're in. So if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Tarot Pick a Card readings in the future. And also, because you did get this far, feel free, if you want to leave a mushroom emoji down in the comments below to let myself and others know that you did get this far in your reading. I hope things go extremely well for you in July, that you're able to avoid the devil situation, whatever that is, and you're able to really work through any problems that you've been dealing with and have an amazing new beginning for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.